This is Dr. Jen. I'm here with Joanne Kane, Holistic Life Practitioner. We are from the FAB Program, and this is called Eat Your Damn Food. And we're here today to talk about the very important, I'm going to call it a coping skill. Maybe it's a way of being, but it is such an important ingredient in eating disorder recovery, and that is using your voice. Using your voice. So, Joanne, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jen. It's such an important topic. I hear you talk about it a lot, and it's something that I've noticed that the participants definitely are challenged by. So, what do you actually mean when you say use your voice?
Voice, use your voice. Yeah, we do throw those words around, right? Because when you're struggling with an eating disorder, what I have found over, geez, all these years of doing this work is many times people are struggling with connecting with their feelings, connecting with what they really want, and also what they don't want. So, just to do it very generally, many times people are starving or stuffing their feelings, and what also ends up happening is it's almost like everything gets sort of stuck here.
Mm.
And people are not used to then really being able to communicate in honest, authentic ways, ways that are really in alignment with who they are and their values. And so, one of the big things we have them do in recovery with us is to really practice using your voice. And many times that can be a little bit of a later step on the journey of recovery.
I notice that that is such a hard thing for not only our participants, but people in general, right?
Mhm.
How does one know how to use their voice and learn how to use their voice and know the difference between their authentic voice and not, their non-authentic voice? So what would you say, like, how does one distinguish that?
Because I know it's something I'm always practicing as well, right? This isn't just one of those things for recovery. It's one of these things I feel for life. And I know, Joanne, it's something you and I talk about personally as well. So I do think a big part of it is starting to connect with our own feelings. How are we really feeling about whatever it is? How are we really feeling? And then what is it we're really wanting related to this thing? So how do we feel? What do we want? And sometimes that part is the part we got to do a little bit more work to get clarity. So then from there, it's and what do we want to say to the person on the other side? So, look, there are some things that I do and I work with clients around as well. So sometimes when it's a little murky, like, how do I really feel about this thing going on? And what is it I want? What is it I don't want? Sometimes what I will do, because I like to write because I'm visual, so I like to get it all out so I can see it. So sometimes I'll just get my written journal. Sometimes I will actually talk into my little voice memo on my phone because that actually has me start hearing myself in a different way. And sometimes I'll leave like a long message and I'll play it back so I can hear myself. Now, I may not say that whole thing to somebody, maybe I'll just say a part of it, but it helps me get clear on using my voice and what do I really want to say in a way that feels like honest and true for myself. So, those are a couple things. But the other thing I tell to clients and for myself too, it takes practice to use our voice and to use it in ways that feel like I call it like in alignment with who we really are.
Those are really great tools and I think very, very effective. And I'll just add another one to the mix. So from a yogic standpoint, we look at the throat area, or we call it the throat chakra. It's an energy center that houses the ability or the inability to communicate, whether it be to somebody else or to yourself. So that's a dance too, to figure out how to communicate to the other person and to yourself, right? And doing what you're saying is getting in contact with your feelings, writing them down, audio messaging them so you can hear them, I think is wonderful way. And one word that you said is practice. Like, how do we practice this if we're by ourselves? So one way that I would suggest is to actually use your voice. And this may feel really uncomfortable because we're not used to making sounds. So this is not even words that we're making, it's a sound. And the sounds actually resonate. So this one in particular is O, like the letter O, you elongate the vowel, and it's done in an exhale. And you can do it with me, Jen, and I'm going to breathe in and breathe out and say the sound O, and the audience can do it as well. But what happens when you're saying oh on the breath out is that sound actually resonates in your throat and opens up the channels of that blocked up energy if you're having a hard time communicating. It also tones these nerves down the sides of your throat, one in particular called the vagus nerve, which has a direct impact from brain to spine, which is your nervous system. So if you can tone the vagus nerve and send the signal to the nervous system and the vagus nerve with the sound, it can actually start to relax you so that you can get clear on what it is that you have to say. So we will breathe in together. We'll do it once, and the audience can do it with us. We're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're just going to say the sound oh. Okay, so inhale. Oh.
Oh,
And notice how you feel.
I feel like I want to do it one more time. Can we do it one more time, Joe?
Of course, yeah. Breathe in, nice and slow. Oh.
Oh.
And then we get to pause, which is a famous Dr. Jen little quote, power of the pause. We get to pause afterward and just notice how those muscles soften. The throat begins to open up, and the breath out starts to relax us so we're not so tense about what it is that we want to say, so we can get clear on what we want to communicate.
Mm. It's amazing how just a couple of those breaths really ground us, right? It has us be more clear so we can figure out what's going on inside of us. And I could see people using that one even in their car, right? Like
Oh, yes.
using that little thing, right? To calm down and then to be able to connect. So Joanne, I always love these little tools that you can just like, use so easily.
Yeah, they're simple.
Hmm.
Simple. We just have to remember to practice and
Yeah.
remember that it's available to us in that moment. So
Mhm.
sometimes, like you, I'll have people write down what are my choices when I
Mhm.
get triggered? What are my options? Write them down. You pull out your card and you're like, oh, I can say oh on a breath out. Great.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Joanne.
Thanks, Dr. Jen.